Alright folks, today we're back at trying to perfect this fudge recipe, and so we have tried several different things here. We've tried following the recipe where we simmer it for 25 minutes and then boil it at a hard boil for a minute. We've tried simmering for 25 minutes and then reaching softball temperature, which is 235. We have tried just not simmering it and reaching 235 as quickly as possible, and all of those have resulted in less than desirable outcomes. They've all been delicious, very edible, very tasty, but not the texture or not the consistency that we're looking for. So today what I'm going to try is I'm going to simmer this for 5 minutes and then I'm going to pour it. Well, I'm going to simmer it for 5 minutes and I'm going to let it cool for a little bit. Whip it, stir it, and then pour it. So we're not going to reach softball stage, but we're not going to simmer for 25 minutes. We're just going to simmer for 5, and we'll see if it comes out a little bit softer. If you've watched the other videos, you know that everything's come out a little bit too hard. So that's where we're at. We're going to start the timer on this. Once our butter melts and it starts to simmer, 5 minutes, and that's going to be it. Alright, you can see I'm just starting to bubble here. I'm not going to start my timer until I actually get my simmer going though. So I'm not going to do this at the first sign of a simmer. I'm going to wait till it gets going good. Alright, so that looks pretty good. I'm going to hit the start button here on our timer, and we'll do 5 minutes. Now again, because this has got a ton of sugar in it, I'm going to keep stirring it to make sure that that doesn't get sticky and scorch on the bottom. So I've got my burner set right around the middle setting, which for some reason my stove is weird. It goes from 1 to 9. So I'm about at a 5.5 or 6. Alright, feels good on the bottom. You can see I don't have any buildup on the tip of my spoon, so that tells me it's not getting too sticky, not scorching, not caramelizing too quick. I'm going to turn my heat down just a little bit because I said I was going to let this simmer. This is kind of more like a rolling boil. I'll turn it down just a tad. But the point is, I'm only going to cook this for 5 minutes. Whether it's a slow boil or a quicker boil, I'm not sure that matters a whole lot. Here, I turned it down just a little bit. That's a little bit slower pace for my boil. Alright, about 2 minutes left to go. A minute left. Alright, 3, 2, 1. We're done. I'm going to turn the heat off, slide this to the right. Alright, I think I'm going to let this cool for just about 5 minutes. Now if you got a smaller, deeper pan with not as much surface area, you might want to go for a little bit longer, but I'm going to check this in 5. Alright, so this has been setting for 5 minutes. I'm going to stir it up a little bit. Alright, definitely not as thick as it has been before, but the purpose of doing an experiment is to do things differently, and We're going to go with this. Like I said, it's definitely a lot thinner, I think, than the other recipes, but those all hardened a little too firm. So we're going to pour this, see what happens. Definitely pours a lot easier, a lot thinner. Don't need so much help from the spoon, that's for sure. This is going to cool in this metal pan before it does in this fudge platter. So I'll know before this chills in the fridge whether or not this is going to work, I think. But so we're going to put this in the fridge and see what happens. Alright, so this is attempt number 5. I just took it out of the fridge. This is the one where we cooked it for 5 minutes and then cooled it, poured it and cooled it. So right out of the fridge. One thing of note, interesting, is I've got these light spots all over it. I have not seen that before. At any rate, getting ready to cut this and see what it looks like. Oh, it is firm. It's not soft and runny like caramel. Yeah, definitely firm. So let's see what it looks like. I can get it out of here. So definitely is going to be soft in the mouth. It's just as delicious as the other stuff we've made. The question is, I think this is what we were looking for. A little bit difficult getting the first piece out of there, but this is cutting into squares, nice and easy. Yeah, I think this is what we were looking for. I might do one more batch where I cook it for either longer or shorter than 5 minutes. Might try a 10-minute batch. I might try one where I just bring it to a boil, and then that's it. Maybe do like a 2 or 3 minute boil. But at any rate, I think this is a winner here. That's perfect. Exactly what we were going for. Alright folks, look at that. Now, the reason I said that this is perfect is, remember that this is cold out of the fridge. So it's a little crusty, a little crumbly when I cut it. But at room temperature, this is going to be the perfect consistency. I'm happy with the squares, even though this is still at refrigerator temperature. I'm happy with being able to cut those into squares. So we're going to call this one a winner.